Hey guys, and welcome to NTMA Productions' new show, Strange Media. In this series, we'll look at all sorts of weird-ass media. Captain Marvel is a popular comic book character, with evidently a popular name. Both Marvel and DC's respective versions will each be receiving their very own live-action films in the coming years. The character we will look at today, however, isn't either of those characters. No, today we're looking at M.F Enterprises Captain Marvel. Professor Roger Winkle was an android whose main superpower is to break apart his body and shoot them at people by yelling "split," a power granted to him by his blue M medallion. He was sent from the planet on which he was created, as the planet was being ravaged by atomic war. Being sent to his new planet Earth, he takes a vow to help the beings of this new planet not meet the same fate. Like most superheroes, he was a journalist, but to subvert expectations, he quickly changed his profession into a university professor. Mild-mannered, he worked at Dartmoor University. He also had a sidekick named dangerously close to Billy Batson, the original Captain Marvel, Billy Baxton. His arch-villain was who else but Plastic Man, not to be confused with the more famous DC Comics original, and other foes, Dr. Fate, not to be confused with the more famous DC Comics original, the Bat, who is in no way related to Batman, Professor Doom, not to be confused with Marvel's character of the similar name, and the Terrible Five, which in no way reminds me of the Sinister Six. Honestly, this book is kind of interesting, but the problems really lie in the concept. Billy Baxton is basically Billy Batson, an everyday kid, thrown into otherworldly situations. The only real difference is rather than him having the power, it's his friend who has it. And yes, Captain Marvel is pretty two-dimensional, but that was to be expected for many comic characters in 1966. I could really see this being a DC book. It definitely played off its writing style, and much like the writing and art, most ideas are pretty obviously stolen from DC and Marvel books, including names directly. Plastic Man had the same powers as the Plastic Man we knew, just evil. Captain Marvel steals little from Captain Marvel but his name, but even beyond the name, he isn't that original of a character. His origin of being made and cast out of a dying planet is obviously that of Superman's. His kid sidekick is to the tune of Rick Jones or Snapper Cars of the day. He is an android created by a scientist, which was likely inspired by the Human Torch, which has a pretty strong amount of evidence, seeing as both these characters were created by Carl Burgos. In fact, I didn't realize that until after I looked into my suspicions. If all these were standalone issues, I would give it the benefit of the doubt, but in tangent, it just seems completely shameless. But coming from a struggling new comic universe, this is understandable. Jack Kirby had also done similar things in creating characters, when creating Guardian, Fighting America, Captain Glory, all Captain America clones. Side note, Jeff Loeb would even make Agent America after leaving Marvel and wanting to finish some of his leftover Captain America stories. Long story short, back in the Silver Age, and more so in the Golden Age, this was a common practice within comics. By the way, if you want to see a Captain America Clones episode in the future, let me know. But the point is, it isn't all that out of the ordinary for back in the day. What makes this comic really crazy is the blatantness of the copying. But as you probably expected, these comics began falling apart quite quickly. After one issue, DC called for M.F Enterprises to quit using the Plastic Man name, as at that point they already owns the rights to the name Plastic Man. He would be renamed Elastic Man. The evil Dr. Fate only appeared one time, the Bat would be renamed the Ray. As to be expected, the series broke down and Captain Marvel would only appear 6 times. M.F Enterprises lasted from 1966 to 1967, but out of its ashes would arise Eerie Publications, which published horror comics and did pretty well. And as for Captain Marvel, he is a likely influence for Marvel to create their Captain Marvel so that they could secure the rights to use the character's name, bringing away a majorly popular Marvel character to this day. DC would also purchase Fawcett's Captain Marvel, although they would rebrand him to Shazam. MF's Captain Marvel would appear only one last time in The Power of Shazam number 27. So that was all for episode 1 of Strange Media. I urge you all to give me more weird media suggestions and let me know if this is a series you enjoyed. Thank you.